So, welcome to Poway, California, which is just north of San Diego. Now, Dr. Rich, he brought his entire family from the Northeast down to San Diego because he wanted better climate year-round. And he loves hanging out with his kids, his wife, and his dog, Bo. Bo, how you doing, Bo? How are you? How are you? Where's Daddy? He's that way? Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. So I want to find out more about how he started the practice, what got him into dentistry, and what he loves about San Diego. And here he is. Dr. Rich, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Can't wait to chat with you a little bit more. I want to find out more about the journey from the Northeast down to San Diego. Just met Bo, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Love
he's my ambassador there.
All right, when you wrap up, I'll chat with you in a little bit.
Sounds good.
Okay. So, Dr. Rich, I appreciate you sitting down with me, taking some time away from your patients in there. I hope somebody's in there with your patients right now.
I think there is somebody in there. They're okay.
But let's start back at the beginning. What got you involved becoming a dentist? And did you always want to be a dentist?
No. So actually, my dad was a dentist.
Okay.
And it was kind of a default, like, I started out actually wanting to go into emergency medicine, believe it or not, and then shadowed a good friend of mine whose dad was an emergency room physician and had a few emergency rooms in Massachusetts, and I got to see a lot of stuff, but at the end of the summer he was like, you know, it took me a lot to get where I'm at, and I missed my son's soccer games all the time. I missed, I destroyed a marriage and a whole bunch of stuff, and then I kind of looked at, my family was really good. We were never without something that we needed, and my dad was around for soccer games and tennis matches and all that fun stuff. So it kind of just was something that naturally kind of fell into place, and I was good with my hands, and yeah, it was an easy choice.
Yeah, originally, you're from the Northeast.
I am from the Northeast, and I spent some time in the Navy as a dentist.
Yeah.
And so we were overseas a little bit in Japan, and then came back to the States, and kind of just San Diego, I mean, what's not to love about it?
Yeah.
So it just was something that my wife and I kind of knew that when we were going to set up shop, we were going to set up shop in San Diego and start life out here. So
I want to find out more about you, but we're going to do it in a little interactive way.
Sounds good.
And you've been probably wondering what this thing is and what all these, symbols and pictures mean. I have no idea. And let's see what we can come up with here.
Does it make a difference to which direction it goes?
No, spin it whichever way you want, whatever way you want. All right, so let's see what we've got here. This is basically, the team. What is the idea when you have your practice and you're hiring the staff and building a team ultimately? What is the goal, and do you have that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the vibe of my practice is kind of the one thing that we always try to maintain. Like, we have a great niche of patients in this area. We have an elderly population from the retirement community of Rancho Bernardo, and then we've got a huge growing population of younger families that have children and adults. So we've always had a fairly laid-back vibe, but I think my patients appreciate me just because I spend a lot of time with them, and I'm willing to communicate as much as I possibly can and educate them as much as they need to be educated on certain things. And I look for that in my team. I like team members that are outgoing and can have a great conversation with patients and put people at ease. And I think that's a huge thing that we look for when it comes to hiring new team members, for sure.
You've talked about family a lot. You've talked about educating. You give back. You give back to the county of San Diego, don't you?
We do. I try and always spend some time in our local dental society. Usually has volunteer opportunities. There's a Care to Share program that we participate in where we give some dentistry to underprivileged families in the area, and most of it's usually children, unfortunately, which is kind of sad to see, but at the same time the need is there, and we try and give back to that. And then the Chargers, before they left, actually had a great program that they were doing for a little while as well, where they would get a lot of kids into the stadium down at Qualcomm, and we would donate some time down there and do exams and fillings and things like that on some kids too. So.
So let's spin it one more time. Let's see what else we can come up with here. There we go.
There we go. That
All
one's
right.
new.
Yep.
There we go.
There we go. This right here is a human being jumping over an obstacle.
Yes, a hurdle.
So it's a hurdle.
Looks like.
What hurdles have you overcome?
I think transitioning from a prior ownership from this practice before, getting used to having new staffing and new patients and getting used to that interaction again and developing my feel for the practice and changing it out from someone else. That's a hurdle.
That is a hurdle. You know,
Yeah.
is there any advice? I'm sure there's folks that are in school, dental school, and they're going to come upon the same, possible hurdles
I
similar
have
to that.
so much advice for that generation. I feel bad for them. But
What,
at the same time.
what advice would you give?
I mean, dentistry is one of those fun professions where you can learn so much from people that have gone through it before. But I think, when it comes to developing the feel for your own practice and how you want to make yourself unique and stick above the rest of the crowd of dentists that are in the area, it's a very important thing to be able to do. So it takes some soul searching. It takes some time to figure out what your niche is going to be. That's one thing I would say is an important thing for someone to really take some time and learn their spot and how they want to separate themselves from everyone else. Another one would be, just learn as much as you possibly can and keep learning, because it's just one of those things that the technology is constantly changing and evolving, and it's the future of our practice. So if you're not up on the technology, then it's going to be something that you're behind the curve on. So
Yeah, it's
always keep learning.
So true, so true. My last question for you: the relationship with True Abutment. How did that start?
On Facebook.
Is that right? Did it really?
So pretty much, there's definitely a Facebook part of it where there's some user groups of we're just talking about learning as much as you possibly can and maximizing some of the things that you use technology-wise. And I was part of a group of Facebook users that all are on the same technology that I use. And some of them said, "Oh, try this company for a specific abutment," and then Sun reached out to me, and we kind of developed a relationship there. And it's been such a huge windfall for me and for my practice. The amount of time saving that it's been able to help me with is amazing. And I used to have to do so many things by myself. I couldn't really delegate it to my staff members. And True Abutment came along, and it completely changed the way that I would restore implants and the way that I would actually have the time to do other things besides just the lab work that I was doing by hand, by myself.
Also, I think the biggest thing, it wouldn't have brought us together, and now we're best friends.
Yeah, I mean, I know where you're going tonight.
Friends to the end.
Dr. Rich wanted to thank you for the hard work that you've given, and I'm handing you this gift. We'll prepare for you. I know you guys are always tired, working on patients.
Nice. Thank you so much. You're finally broken.
Well, Dr. Rich, I appreciate you letting us come in and hang out, find out more about your family, your team. Sounds like you got a great thing going on here.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you coming in today. It was fun.
With you being Navy, you're staying in San Diego, right?
I'm not going anywhere for sure.
Right.
Definitely not.
Hey, see you at a Padre game.
All right,
Go
sounds good.
Padres.
Take it easy. Go Padres.
On behalf of all of us here at True Abutment, join us as we continue our journey around the country, chatting with more dental professionals. We'll see you next time.